Look up from your telescope, take me on this journey home. I don't wanna wait no more.
Okay, y'all, I am recording this video after episode 11 premieres, and I think that we do have a little bit that we can talk about when it comes to where do Spencer and Olivia stand. Okay, so I made a comment in episode 11, or my breakdown for episode 11, where I said that they are rationing out the Olivia moments, and they're literally giving us the bare minimum, right? The bare minimum interaction between Spencer and Olivia, and rightfully so, because up until episode 9, they had given us tons of Olivia and Spencer content that put us all in a very anxious space, a very stressed space. Yeah, the first half of the season was very, very stressful, so I get it, especially given the fact that Spencer and Olivia are not together right now. It makes sense for them to be limiting the amount of screen time that they have together. So in episode 10, we saw that they only really interacted when it came to being at the hospital for Jordan. In episode 11, we get 2 run-ins with them, one at the top of the episode and then another at a flower visual for a young lady who has lost her life due to racism and police brutality. So again, they also only really are giving us Spencer and Olivia moments where they're interacting about something else, like there's something bigger at work. So we never really get to see them talk about themselves or talk about where they stand or anything like that. Every time they interact, they're talking about whatever the bigger issue is in the moment. And that also begs the question of where do they stand? For me, one of the things that I'm really wondering is, are Spencer and Olivia talking outside of when they run into each other? So are they texting? Are they calling? Are they interacting at all? And from what we see on the screen, it does not feel like they are. It feels like they only interact when they run into each other and they're really keeping their distance. But when they are interacting with each other, when they do run into each other, it doesn't feel tense at all, which is also weird to me, because if I'm in deep love with someone, right, and I really want to be with them, but like let's say I'm Olivia and I messed up, but I really want to be with this person. I know I really want to be with this person. I know I really messed up. I don't know if when I run into this person, if I'm completely cool and calm, kind of like season 2, like, oh yeah, that's my homie. And then for Spencer, like, you have confessed your deep love for this girl. The girl has confessed her deep love for you. Then she crashes the car with you in it and wants you to do some real wouch. And you go through all these emotions. You have to, for the first time, put up boundaries to her, and that's something that you have not really done before in reference to the people that you love. So you're going through all that. So I'm just like, how is it that, yes, I get the butterflies. Like, I love the scene that we saw in episode 11 where, he walked up on her. He's so nervous and he lights up and she lights up and all that. Yes, you get those butterflies from being around this person, but then there's still so many other untapped, unaddressed feelings. And it's kind of like they just put them on the nightstand and walked out the door, and I was like, all right, I don't need those feelings today, so I'm gonna keep it moving. And that's kind of like weirding me out because I'm not seeing any of that as well. But before I go into my deeper analysis around where do Spencer and Olivia stand right now, so this is after episode 11, before episode 12. If you're watching this any later than that, I just want you to know that that's the context of when I'm recording this video, and this will be updated as things change throughout the season. Before I jump into my thoughts, my full thoughts around that, I definitely want to highlight a few comments that I have seen on my videos that have presented some interesting perspectives, because I asked during my episode 11 breakdown. If you haven't already, please go and watch my episode 11 breakdown. I thought it was pretty good. I like my analysis in it, and I also surprised quite a few of y'all with some of the things that I said, so go ahead and watch it. It'll be linked in the cards above in the description box down below. In that video, I asked, could we deal with Spence and Olivia just going back to being really, really, really great friends, like best friends, and not getting together? And this is what some of y'all had to say. Trey Jack 3 said, I can't deal with them being friends. It's clear that they want each other and they know how they feel about each other, so I ship them all the way. Introverted Sagittarius said, Spencer uses every opportunity he gets to even indirectly ask about Liv or just to have a moment with her. He is still in love, and I think that he is waiting for her without actually saying it out loud. There is some truth here. For sure, I think that there's definitely some truth in what you're saying. Shanika Harris says, I love Spencer and Liv's friendship, but I really want them together. They are in love with each other and they should explore it. Remember what the psychic said, a forever love. Nice Little Lady said, I love their vibes right now. This is the first time I've seen Liv look happy being around someone. She loves Spencer and it's no denying that. I love how Spencer is allowing her to get help and love herself, because at the end of the day, that will help her to really love. Her and Spencer have to be together. Okay. Renee Allen says, Liv is back better and stronger than ever. I actually disagree with this comment, but I had to include it because I feel so strongly about it, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later on in this video. So keep it locked and hit the subscribe button. If you're made it to this part of the video, go ahead and like the video because I know you like it. Trinity Bryant said, I would like for Olivia to get to the place where they are each other's confidants and best friends again. Then we can slowly move into the lovey-dovey stage. They can't stay in the best friend zone forever. Why can't they? B-Dub says, IDK if Olivia and Spencer would be okay with just being friends. They have gone too far to turn back now, and judging by how they stay looking at each other this season, they would be lying to themselves. Laugh out loud. Best friends would go to the best friends with benefits real quick. Okay, I hear you. And then Madison said, speaking on what Olivia told Nurse Joy about how hard it is to fight the urge to want to use or take something, it really makes me commend recovering addicts. I can't imagine how difficult it is to wake up every day and have to fight the urge to use or resist your own brain when it's craving whatever it became addicted to in the first place. If I've learned anything from Liv's struggle with addiction this season, it is that it's not just about the lack of willpower. Addiction is a real illness, and people will understand it better when they start treating it like one. And that's the last comment I'm going to include because that is, for me, that's the mic drop. And honestly, that goes into my thoughts around what I believe Renee said about Olivia being back and stronger than ever. This tells me that Olivia is not back and stronger than ever. She is making bold, strong choices. She is being very courageous and brave in episode 11, but she's not back and she's not stronger than ever. She is on a day-to-day basis fighting the urge to use drugs and alcohol. She is getting back on the wagon and recovering from a relapse, and we cannot forget that. We cannot see Olivia make a bold and courageous choice, stand in her truth, hold herself accountable, and then decide, okay, everything is fixed, everything is fine. Everything is still not fine. And I didn't say this in my episode 11 breakdown, but that's kind of where my question came from. That's kind of what it was rooted in, y'all. It was rooted in the idea of getting to a place of acceptance if Spencer and Olivia do not get together, because this is going to be a long road for Olivia. Her recovery is not something that's going to be able to, necessarily get onto a super stable place within a month, 2 months, 4 months, even a year. This could be a very, 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 very long road, and it is a fight every day for her to, stay sober and do what she needs to do for her best, both mental and physical health. I asked the question of if y'all could be okay with them being friends because it might look like Olivia cannot have a relationship for the next 2 years. Olivia might really have to spend the next 2 years focusing on herself. When you look back and we think about it, she made it a year sober, and then after that the shooting happened, Billy's affair came out, all of these things happened, and then she started drinking. So mind you, the work that she had done over the course of a year was undone within months, and now she has fallen in love to a deeper level with Spencer. She has experienced other things. Like, life is a lot heavier for her now than it was for her when the initial relapse happened. So I just want us to try to take into accountability, like, yeah, we can have the idea of Spencer and Olivia's forever love and all of that, and in game, great, perfect, okay, cool. But I think oftentimes when I'm seeing everyone just like shipping them so hard and just like Spencer Olivia, Spencer Olivia, Spencer Olivia, to me it kind of feels like people aren't taking into account her recovery journey and kind of trivializing the illness that she has and what it's really going to take for her to overcome and get to the complete other side of this. So where she's actually to the point where she can focus on other things and she can focus on building a life, in love, in family, and in all of these other things. And no, I did not say that in addition to my question when I asked if y'all could live with them just being best friends, but I think that I could. I think that I could see Spencer and Olivia operate in the space that they're operating in now, where Spencer is showing up for her, like even walking up on her her at the vigil and saying like he knew without her even saying like don't blame yourself, don't put yourself in her position, like he knew exactly what she was thinking. I appreciated him showing up for her in that way. And for me, at least right now today when I'm recording this video, y'all, that is enough for me. If Olivia has Spencer that is dialed in, still deeply cares for her, but giving her the space to be and to heal, but still just showing up for her as a true friend, as a true loved one, and giving her all of what she hadn't really experienced before by way of love in this way, that is enough for me. I don't necessarily need to see them actually make it together. I don't need to see them start dating, because for me, I really just want to see Olivia happy and healthy again. And even her hyper focus and reckless, bold, and brave, let me go ahead and put all that out there, decision to steal the footage and release the footage. This is also a very dangerous line that she's walking, because she's borderline obsessive about this particular issue. And while it is of great importance, it is something that's front of mind for everyone in the country right now. It's harder for her being an addict, because again, she could just be shifting into another thing to be addicted to. And again, that's something that's a part of her journey that she's going to have to figure out how to navigate through, how to manage. And just for me, the last thing that's on my mind right now is Spence and Olivia's relationship. And I'm just gonna put it like that. So that's the answer to my question. I definitely think that I could deal with them just being best friends. I'm cool with them not kissing for another 4 years. If it means that Olivia does not relapse, I'm cool with it. If it means that Olivia does not fall into a depressive state, if it means that Olivia does not fall down into the hole of just self-sacrificing, lack of self-love, no building of real confidence, and not rooting herself in her identity around a relationship, whether it's a friendship or romantic relationship, if it means all of that, then I'm cool with them being friends, period. But I also want to address the topic of this particular video. So where do Spence and Olivia stand? Right now, it looks like they stand as friends. They stand as people who are going to support one another and give each other space to live, be, and grow. Right now, I do feel like it looks like Spencer supporting Olivia, because we haven't really seen Olivia show up for Spencer just yet. Or I don't feel like Olivia is really dialed into what Spencer got going on. I don't think that he's actually shared with her some of the things that he has going on. And I'm fine with that too. Yes, we are getting a little breadcrumbs of like, yes, they are still in love. Yes, they still deeply want each other. But right now, they are just friends, and they are fumbling around their love for one another, but still showing up as friends for one another. All right, it's your turn. Be nice to me, y'all. I know that you don't always agree, but go ahead and be nice to me in the comment section and tell me how you feel, but just don't get rude or disrespectful about it. Now is your turn. Go ahead and tell me all of what you're thinking. Where do you think Spence and Olivia stand right now? What did you think about my video and my thoughts? You can tell me all that more in the comment section down below. If you're new here, I'm Erica Van, and I post new All-American videos every day, sometimes twice a day. So you should really join the tribe by hitting subscribe. We have the best All-American community on the internet, and we have the best dialogue, y'all. Just check out the comment sections of any one of my videos, and it speaks for itself. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button and join us. We would love to have you. I think you're going to love it here. If you missed any of my All-American videos, you can check out my All About All-American playlist right here. And if you're looking for a new show to watch, because we do have a couple weeks until a new episode comes, I have 2 series suggestions for you right here. Get into it. I'm gonna see y'all in the next amazing All-American video. Bye.